part of identifying impactful research topics in medical technology. This workshop is tailored specifically for the third batch of the medical faculty at the University of Moratuwa as part of the Medical Technology Research module. This session is designed to provide invaluable insights into the critical aspects of initiating your research journey in medical technology. Invaluable insights into the critical aspects of initiating your research journey in medical technology. It will focus on how to select a promising research topic, ensuring it is both impactful and aligned with current advancements in the field. The session will also guide you on how to utilize reliable sources effectively to explore potential research areas and validate your ideas. Additionally, we will delve into examples of impactful research in medical technology, showcasing how innovative ideas have been successfully implemented to address real world healthcare challenges. By the end of this session, you will have a clear understanding of how to navigate the initial stages of a research process with confidence and precision. We are very proud to share the platform today with two remarkable personalities who have displayed excellence in the field of biomedical research. Firstly, let me introduce to all of you Mr. Kithmin Wickremasinghe. Mr. Wickremasinghe is a past alumnus of the Faculty of Engineering, University of Moratuwa. He was awarded the Manamperi Award in 2020 for the most outstanding undergraduate engineering research project. Currently, he is an advanced development engineer at Photon Control Incorporated and has completed his Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering at the University of British Columbia. His research interests include analog ASIC design, integrated sensing and biosensing, wearable devices, and machine learning tools for EDA, EPDA, and simulation. It is a privilege to collaborate with him in this endeavor. Also joining us today is Mr. Nima Wickramasingher, who is currently pursuing his PhD in neural engineering at the University of Melbourne. His research focuses on neural engineering and machine learning, addressing some of the most fascinating challenges in biomedical sciences. We are truly honored to have him here with us today to share his expertise in this domain. We are extremely grateful to have both of these brilliant speakers enlighten us with their insights regarding how to select impactful research topics. If you have any questions regarding the topics discussed in the workshop, please feel free to simply type them into the Zoom chat. Your questions will be addressed during the Q&A session. Now, without further ado, join me in welcoming our first speaker today, Mr. Kithmin Wickremasinghe.
Hello. I hope you can hear me clearly. Shall I share my screen?
Yes, Aya, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Great. So thank you, Kaushalya, for welcoming me so pleasantly, and Imasha for inviting me to speak today with Nima. So I'll sort of do the first half of this session and then hand it over to Nima. And yeah, very excited to be here. And please talk to us, like ask questions if you have any doubts or curious about anything. We're very happy to take questions and interact with you all. Okay, so let's dive in. So we are going to first start with something. Does anyone know what this is? Maybe like let's take some guesses and see if you can guess what's in this picture. Okay, I'm getting good answers. Maybe the name of this particular engine that I'm showing. Does anyone know the name? Okay, so I'll go to the next one. So someone actually said the right answer about the thing that I was showing. It was actually the bottom of the Starship that is designed by the company SpaceX, Elon Musk's space company, which is kind of like the most successful space company to date. And the particular engine that I was showing was called is the Raptor version 2 engine that is used used to kind of propel this spaceship into space. And there are like 33 of those Raptor engines that were in the like previous image used to take this starship to space. The reason that I showed it to you was because one of those engines has over like 10,000 sensors and duplicates where possible to make sure the engine actually doesn't have any type of failure during operation. And they have actually developed the version 3 of it, which is even more impressive, like much more streamlined and like optimized. So was showing you that particular thing was so there's 10,000 sensors on one engine of the Starship and a bunch of those engines to make sure that the Starship is working properly. But like how many times do people like take time off the year to go see the doctor to make sure that their body is working properly? The frequency of like people visiting doctors in Sri Lanka is like sometimes very less in certain age groups, and one of the reasons is probably the lack of medical innovation that could actually sense whether people are having certain problems, and then like quick early awareness of whether people are having problems so that they can visit the doctor and get the right treatment in advance. And like designing medical innovations could designing innovative medical devices could actually help with addressing this issue. So with that, I kind of went through the handbook and the curriculum that is provided in the MTS module, and based on that, I have like concluded these following facts, which of course that it's a research project proposal that all of you have to do in phase 3 of your degree program. And you have 18 months to complete this project. And some milestones, Nima will also talk about these in his slides, but some crucial milestones to come up with a research topic in the first 3 months, and then to submit a research proposal within 9 months after supervisor selection and things like that. And there are a few expectations that you need to deliver, of which I understand that implementing the particular research proposal is completely optional. Yeah. So today, what I want to discuss mainly is, I'll take around like 20 minutes and I'll discuss these things. This concept called the golden circle, and then some kind of like a workflow of how you can complete or kickstart a project, and some ideas about how biomedical engineers find projects. And then I'll hand over to Nima to do a very, very interesting case study on one of his successful research projects. Okay. The golden circle is actually an idea that is by Simon Sinek, and he's a very respected and like widely followed author and speaker. And he has come up with this concept where um, there's like three principles: why, how, and what. And when you're doing something, building a product, solving a medical problem, you have to always start with why. What is your cause? What do you believe? And what is the purpose behind what you're doing? And if you find the right purpose, then you have to understand the process. How are you going to accomplish what you want to do? And then finally, you can get to what, which is what are you going to do? What are the steps that you're going to um, execute in order to do it? This is a very like interesting principle, because like very successful technological companies, for example, Apple, have like built the entire ecosystem around this concept of like they don't just make every other smartphone like a Chinese company or Indian company. They build like Apple iPhones, and they start to build it with the why in mind. And that is why like you have like a clear distinction between any other smartphone and an Apple iPhone. So I'll kind of demonstrate that later, and even in Nima's case study, you'll see the why part very clearly on how to start a project. Here's an interesting slide. There's actually a book written on the process of innovating medical technologies. And this book is sort of one of the de facto references used in the Stanford University biodesign course, which is like run by the Stanford Museum Center for Biodesign. And I encourage you guys to take a look at the Health Technology Showcase, which is like every year they do sort of a showcase. Groups of students, similar to yourselves, find problems and then propose solutions, technological solutions for their problems. Here's an example for a solution, like a solution that they have come up with to develop sort of like cancer treatment pellet or something like that. Yeah. Kind of like a cancer treatment pellet kind of thing. And the proposals, they do a showcase of that, and the medical companies that come to their showcase discuss and sort of like agree to fund certain projects, which is very interesting, I would say, and something that is not impossible to kind of implement in Sri Lanka as well. So if like they take the ideas very seriously, because in their case, like if an investor likes the idea, they can actually implement it, build a company out of it, and like take it to the next level. Okay, so what is the process behind starting a project? So definitely identifying the problem is kind of key. I'll get into that in another slide as well. And you can, once you have looked at a problem, you do a literature study. There are like lots of tools for doing these kinds of studies. And then you define your project, how you're going to do it. We're going to find data. We're going to do the research. What are the technologies you're going to use? Is it feasible to do it? And then you like iteratively make sure that everything you do can be done. You have the money to do it. You have the time. If it's like whether it's less than 18 months or more than 18 months, you do all of that. And then you finally set up the project. If you have a group of 4 people, you divide the tasks between the 4 people, and you set up like projects on, like if it's involving some sort of like code that you're developing, you can use GitHub and other version control softwares. You can use Notion to make track projects, make Gantt sheets and things. And then you can also use Slack or WhatsApp to communicate. And finally, like for biomedical engineering, this is a kind of a next step, which is completing the project and publishing it and getting like approvals and ethics finalized. So Nima's group has like gone through this entire flow from start to finish, and they have completed a really good project. So he'll cover that soon. I wanted to show kind of a nice example from the past of a local success story of how engineers and doctors can collaborate together. This is someone I personally know, Prashant Varnakula, from the Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo, and his current partner. And this is one of my batchmates, Pragadishwar, and they collaborated together when they were in actually like 2018. They collaborated together on developing this medical device called Nephrosnap. It was like a small innovative tool that detected urine protein levels by taking a photograph through a mobile phone. So it's basically a mobile app that took like urine protein, could detect urine protein levels by taking a photograph of a urine sample. And they had a machine learning algorithm trained to detect what kind of like output and then classify the sample properly. And this idea actually won the brainstorm competition that year, which is probably the first and only time like a medical student was able to win this competition so far, and something I'm waiting to see again happen again actually. So that's very interesting. And there's another global success story of how engineers and doctors together sort of won a world competition. This was Microsoft Imagine Cup in 2017, and this team from the Czech Republic won the competition by proposing like a small and very innovative tool for non-invasive blood glucose measurement. And this is actually the tool that they're holding. And yeah, you can like read up on this project as well. And back then, this was a very sought after project or concept, and they actually won like a huge prize and established a company as well. It was a very interesting time. Okay, so few more slides before we take a small question break. Here are some resources that mostly we like biomedical engineers have sort of like use in our final year for doing research projects that I think all of you can benefit from as well. So as I showed earlier, like literature research, there are like very nice tools for doing literature research. Google Scholar is something all types of researchers use nowadays. and literature management, particularly these are the most famous ones. If you need to find medical data sets, there are very good websites for machine learning like Kaggle and Physionet for finding all kinds of physiological signal data and all kind of like types of data set recordings of different cases and patients and equipment. And papers with code is also another nice one. And like coding interfaces, I know some of you have ideas of doing apps and things like that. So like Visual Studio Code, Python, Google Colab, Jupyter Notebooks, Overleaf for writing your reports. These are really good practice tools for getting into something like technical side of things. I know it's not mandatory to learn these kinds of tools, but if you're interested, there's so many educational websites and YouTube courses and EDX courses on how to sort of implement the ideas that you actually want to work on. And I know some of these are not part of your curriculum, but definitely through collaborations, similar to what Prashant did, there's always opportunities to work with the tools, these tools, and like do very interesting projects. And finally, always keep in mind about ethical considerations. So patient confidentiality, informed consent, and then potential risks and benefits of research. All of these things need to be considered when you're working in the medical field, doing medical research, and making sure that all the data that you collect, patient data and very private information, should be protected because it's very sensitive data that shouldn't be accessed by anyone else other than the researchers. And finally, research integrity is very important, especially when you're publishing the research to the rest of the world. You need to make sure that whatever you publish or release, you have like maintained integrity in what you do and haven't like falsified information or data or things like that. Okay. Okay, so let's take a small break. Here's a small test to see like how is your innovative thinking. Can anyone like tell me what comes to their mind when they see this? Can you like think of what I'm trying to show here? Can anyone guess? Okay, one person got the answer. Anyone else came to that answer? Okay, cool. So yeah, the answer in the chat is correct. So it's the Bermuda Triangle. And there are like many other word puzzles like this. Just some fun before we get into the next part. So the topic today is how to find your MTS research, and definitely it is a challenging topic to talk about because of the like evident bridge between what you see in the medical field and then what tools and knowledge engineers use to implement these kinds of projects. And as doctors studying in the, or like medical students studying the medical technology stream, you have to sort of have a balance of both. And again, Nima's slides will have more ideas on this, but some of the best ways to actually find ideas is to collaborate with experts and faculty members, look at semester projects and final year researches or group projects that your seniors or biomedical students have worked on in the past, ideas that they investigated. Maybe a global pandemic could even like expecting a future global pandemic could even inspire lots of ideas. And just simply walking around the clinic can fill you all with like different kinds of ideas that you can do, regardless of whether they're feasible or not. There's always opportunities to like come up with ideas just from looking around your environment. So the idea is there, and what you want to accomplish is there. And I wanted to sort of go through how biomedical students think about a particular area called body health sensing, and how biomedical students would think about building projects from this area. And for example, from the human body, you have access to so many physiological systems and signals, EEG, EMG, EKG, respiratory rate, blood chemistry, heart rates, blood oxygen, sweat analysis. All of these are different types of like physiological mechanisms that are happening in your body that as a biomedical engineer, one can sort of like access and monitor, sense, track, image, control, regulate, all of these like different actions you can do with that. So I'll like kind of go through a few scenarios of how different innovations have happened based on where you look at the body at itself. So there are like opportunities to, so I'm mainly here focusing on ideas in the sense that are like feasible if you look at it the way biomedical engineers look at it. And these are like some of those examples. So monitoring the measurements levels in like blood, for example, like glucose, cholesterol, potassium, blood oxygen, all of these things can be measured using like different systems, LED reflectance, the Apple Watch is capable of measuring certain things, and then micro needles penetrate the dermis of the skin and sort of like extract, inject a certain chemical and then get the reading out of it. Conducting a current through the skin can also give you certain values of different potassium ions, sodium ions, glucose, like the concentrations of those in the skin. So all these kinds of technologies are there based on your interest. If you were to like find an idea that matches this scenario, you can read literature, find out like what kind of papers are written about your idea, and then you can understand sort of the technology behind what they're doing, talk to med experts, collaborate with biomedical students, and then come up with a solution that sort of makes your idea feasible. So it's very doable if you consider like this cardiovascular system. And here's a very nice project that was done by this American company called Analog Devices that has actually even probably been commercialized now. So it's a high-tech hardware watch that does all the above that I mentioned, and you can like go onto their website and read about how these kinds of projects are done. So skip the video. Scenario 2 if you look at the brain signals, and like the neuro side of it, you can like 3D print these kinds of EEG headgears. You can like access electrode, skin electrode contacted signals out into like processing hardware, and then you can do these kinds of like neat tricks, like make this arm move based on your brain signal activity. Yeah, that's very interesting. And then ear EEG is also something that's very interesting. One of my previous supervisors worked on that domain. Considering the mouth, during COVID times, people built low-cost ventilators like these, and different kinds of like respiratory, I don't remember the name of that, the respiratory measuring devices, and smart masks, smart face masks, and things like that are like definitely viable ideas. And then considering your overall face, getting different kinds of signals, eye tracking signals, and facial tracking of like muscle signals and things like that. So those are practical ideas that people have worked on. Then you can think of like muscle or like forearm muscle contraction, and then like finger tracking and things like that. So here's a pretty good, nice example of using the EMG signals that travel across your forearm when you move your fingers, do different patterns. And this has like turned into a really interesting project. And this person is known as the Bionic Man, and he can actually control this robotic arm using all the, he has actually undergone a particular type of surgery called targeted muscle reintervention, and he can actually like track he can actually control all the movements of the robotic hand using these two EMG tracking sensors. So that's pretty interesting. And then the last two scenarios for heart and like breast health monitoring. So like these are very novel devices that like came back, I think like not even 6 years ago, and are like kind of very like well received in the world in terms of like innovations. There's a very nice device called Cardia. I actually have one as well. And then like some, for example, like foot related, there have been like very nice projects monitoring the pressure of your foot and what kinds of impacts it has on the rest of your body. For example, like diabetes patients, your like tendency to for diabetes can even be recognized or understood based on your foot pressure patterns. And there are very interesting projects in this area as well. Yeah, and then this last one, like portable ultrasound machines, portable X-rays, I guess, and then like portable retinopathy machines. Yeah. Okay, so those were some scenarios about like what biomedical engineering community has come up with based on what technologies they can access and what physiological phenomenon they can address in the human body. So it's not always projects that don't always need to be tied to the human body. They can also address problems and topics outside the human body as well. For example, the entire healthcare ecosystem, if you consider, has a lot of factors involved in there. Are different kinds of people working on education, logistics management, marketing, all kinds of important sections. There's a separate like product and research aspect, like pharmaceuticals, medical devices and materials. There's like the entire information landscape that connects everything together, data storage, digitalization of medical records and things like that, services, and then finally healthcare providing spaces. So all of these areas are contributing to the healthcare ecosystem, and there are definitely like places, like for example, if you look at the hospital, patient health records is a very important area where like medical innovation can happen, and like visit information, clinical notes, treatment procedures and results, and basically like tracking all the medical information based on a certain thing. And I saw actually examples of the previous some of your like first and second batch ideas were around this domain as well, towards like developing novel smartphone apps to address certain things. And definitely, if you consider countries like ours, digitalization of medical records is a huge hurdle right now. So it is very hard to obtain patient health records electronically in countries like ours. And this is not really the case if you come to look at the countries in the West, where you actually don't even need to take any record when you're going to see a medical practitioner. You just need to give them your personal health number, and everything is everything about you, like every single information about you is accessible to the medical personnel. There's also opportunities to provide better care. For example, there's a very famous Sri Lankan company called ODOC that worked on patient-doctor matching. So that is a very nice area to provide better solutions at. Decision support systems for like early diagnosis and treatment recommendations. Whenever like you want to go see the doctor, but you aren't sure whether you understand the situation of your ailment properly, these kinds of decision support systems would be very beneficial. And then finally, personalized medicine. Each patient is unique, and there is a big requirement for personalized medicine. And also, I think telemedicine and concepts like that, where like different kinds of people need to have different ways of accessing healthcare based on their needs, which again in Sri Lanka is not that sort of catered in that scope. It's usually like everyone is currently getting the same level of access to medicine in certain areas. And finally, medical education, as I mentioned earlier, is a very big area. Tools for medical training is a huge area of research that countries like UK and USA have heavily invested in. And doctors can also like understanding like medical literature summarization and drug trial information extraction. And finally, like patient communication, for example, like building chatbots that can help us patients with understanding their medical conditions, which I think people are heavily invested in already in the US, since like ChatGPT and things like that have come up. Okay, so I will hand over the presentation to Nima to conduct his section. Yeah, Nima, we can take over.
Thank you, Kithmin. Let me set up everything first. Yep. Hope everyone can see and hear me. I'm a bit sick, so my voice might sound a bit weird. Y'all won't mind that. So first of all, thank you, Kithmin. Like, great. You got. I hope like everyone got so many ideas. Like he covered so many aspects in so many aspects related to like biomedical engineering and stuff that you all could start on, and great starting points in which it could help in your MTS research project. So I will be talking about our one specific example, and I will try to go through the thinking process on how we conducted this research project. So I will be talking about our final year project, an AI-powered user-friendly neonatal seizure detection device. So I have included all our team members and our supervisors, and Kithmin was actually one of our external supervisors as well. And special need to mention Professor Jitangi, because she's the doctor from the medical field who came to us with this problem. Yeah. So let me start. So I went through this research handbook. It was shared with us. So, and what I tried to do was look at our project and then try to align our project with what you all need to do. And to be honest, like we went through a very similar process as well. So I see that first you'll need to go through first you'll need to submit a research proposal, like the research topic and research synopsis. Everything comes like a build up to the research proposal, and then you'll be starting the project, and then demonstration and research report submission. So let me talk about how our project aligns with all of this. Okay. So the research topic that we chose was an AI-powered user-friendly neonatal seizure detection device. So rather than just saying this is the research topic that we chose, I want to tell you all how we came to this decision that we are going to be doing this research project. So there are different ways that you can definitely come up with a research project. So you can get your team up in a meeting and brainstorm different ideas, and also definitely like follow your passions on like what you all would love to do, and also like look at the current events that might give you a lot of new ideas, right? Like for example, during the COVID period, there were so many new inventions coming up related to like mitigating COVID related problems. And then talking to experts, definitely, like as Kithmin mentioned, this is one of the best ways that you can get an idea on what kind of research project you have to do, because like, even in our case, this is how we came up with the project. Now, to be honest, like we didn't come up with this project, much rather Professor Jitangi, who is like working at Lady Ridge Hospital for Children. So she has identified this problem where like these neonatals get seizures and they are very hard to detect, and there's no proper way to like detect these seizures. So she had talked to professors from our university, and that's how we got to know about this project, and we got the opportunity to conduct a research as our final year project. So this is how we came up. So when I see medical students, I hope you all are all sort of like in Professor Jitangi's level, where you all get to work a lot in the clinic and everything, and you all might see a lot of problems in the medical uh, in relation to medical stuff, much rather than us, because we don't actually work like in the field itself, right? We don't work with patients, and we don't see the problems there, but you all get to first-hand experience all these problems. So I hope like you all have a better understanding than us in terms of finding a problem in related with medical field. So yeah, um, talking to experts is how we came onto this project. And but what I want to say is, don't finalize your project just because there's this problem and we can do something about it. Don't finalize your project that moment itself, because you need to look into the future and like have a proper understanding of how it will be going on for the like how you are going to be doing it in the given time, and how you are going to be like doing it so that's why I have said like you have to have a rough idea on how the project will be moving forward, but this rough is in the sense because you can't obviously have like um, 100% clear understanding of how the project will move forward, but you have to have some understanding. I mean, if you look at the timeline of what was in your research handbook, so the first 9 months out of the 18 months, 9 months, that means almost half your time you all will be spending on submitting, like making your research proposal itself. And then for the initial research problem and topic submission itself, they have given you 3 months. So use these 3 months, and also what you need to be doing in these 3 months is you need to expect what will be coming on in these 18 months as well. You need to think about it, because otherwise, if you just come up with a project and come up with a research problem in the first 3 months and then submit it, and then when you start doing the project in the rest of the months, you will understand there will be some problems, and by then it will be too late probably, maybe to change your topic or something like that. So that's why it's very important that you have somewhat of an idea of on how the project will move forward. So this is what we do in our final year project as the feasibility analysis, and I think this submitting the research proposal and everything is very much similar to the feasibility analysis. So I hope you all will do that well, because I will be keeping repeating this, because like the better you understand how you all are going to do the project, the better chance of success you have. So the research proposal is a great way to get a good understanding, because when you make the research proposal, you will understand all the points that you might have missed and stuff. So that's a great point. So looking at how your research proposal that you all have to make. So one of the key points is problem definition. So looking at our project, so uh, you can see here this is a neonate, and she's having a seizure right now, but it's very hard to identify whether this is like a normal infant behavior, or whether she's having a seizure or not, because the features are really subtle, and it's hard to identify when a neonate is getting a seizure. So the current method that they use is get an EEG recording, and then like have a well-trained neurologist to identify whether seizure has occurred, and uh, that's how it's been identified. But um, due to the cost of like getting an EEG and everything, there's a lot of undiagnosed neonatal seizure cases. So this is the problem. And this is the problem that Professor Jitangi has identified, and she came up to us, and then we started looking into this after that. And we can't just stop at that point and say this is our problem, because we need to conduct all these steps to some level in order to understand about this field. So one of the things is a proper literature review. So in our final report, there were about 70 citations that we have done. So obviously you don't have to like read that much papers on the subject, but at least read some and try to find out what's the latest technology or how the field is occurring, like depending on whether it's like a software approach, whether you all are taking, or whether like you all are trying to make a device or something. Know like what is being done in the research field right now and what has been done and how it's been done. So you'll have a good understanding on that aspect, and we all will find the limitations and challenges. In order to do all that, you need to have do a literature review. You can't like the existing knowledge will never be enough if you are like looking into a specific problem, and then you will definitely look into all the literature that has been conducted on this specific matter. Then you will get an idea on the state of the art methods, um, and also look at the existing commercial devices, so the commercial software that's available, and then will be getting a good idea, because talking to past, I think brainstorm, yeah, during brainstorm, I think uh, we had these discussions with medical students, and they had come up with they have come up with like different problems, and they have identified, but then during our meetings what they said was, okay, after we looked into literature, we saw that literature, or like going into different hospitals, we saw that uh, there's already something existing for this. Now what are we supposed to do? So that will occur if you all wouldn't do this proper literature review, identify the existing devices and stuff before, right? So you need to do that at this stage itself. Don't wait until you'll submit the research proposal. In the first 3 months itself, even if you don't write it somewhere, you'll need to like conduct some research and some understanding, just read some stuff on this in the first 3 months itself to get a rough idea on the research gap. So also I need to like mention, don't be discouraged by the existing work, because uh, that should actually increase your curiosity. And when you look closely into most of this existing literature or devices or software or whatever, you'll see that there are some, usually you'll see that there are some sort of limitations in these existing solutions that might that might not that might not work well with your problem. So you might be able to come up with something new that would work well with the problem that you have, right? So this is one majorly important step. So make sure you do this at least slightly before choosing the problem that before defining before like coming up with this is the research project that I'm going to do before finalizing that. Right. The next thing is defining your objectives. So like looking at our problem, our project. So what we decided to do was we wanted to make the whole process user friendly, and make it very easy for the patient and the caregiver, to everyone, to make it much more easier to use. And we wanted to make it low cost, so that multiple neonates or patients can use this in specifically in Sri Lanka. So we want to make something low cost and user friendly in terms of like we make it wireless and also use dry electrodes instead of the wet electrodes that's usually used. So we made a new device in that terms, and then also uh, as you know, like there are not much. It's hard to find like experienced neurologists everywhere. So what we did was we implemented a software where there was like real-time monitoring, and we incorporated machine learning for like seizure detection, and also a lot of signal processing and everything is included in our software as well. And then after making our device, the next objective was to like test this. So as you can see, even though we talk a lot about neonatal stuff, uh, uh, in our objectives, we say that we will be testing this on children and adults, so older children and adults. So this is because like first time when you come up with a device, they don't let you, the ethical committee will not let you just test it on neonates. We need to first test it on adults and then children, and then only we can go on to neonates. So uh, with the given timeline for us, so it was like less than 1 year, and we couldn't have done it with neonates. So that is why objectives need to be realistic. So we can't just put on objectives that we can't achieve. So the objectives need to be realistic, and also they need to be achieved in the given time. So as Kithmin mentioned once, like if you can like propose an artificial eye or something, which might be feasible, but like you need to think about in the given time and everything how you are going to be doing this, right? So that's one thing. And then also look at the capabilities of your team. Now, I'm not exactly sure how the medical community is going to be, like a medical community, sense how you all are going to be doing. You all will be making these devices and software and everything, because I'm not sure whether you all have the knowledge on this stuff, whether these stuff have been taught to you on how to make these devices and how to make this software and such. Maybe you all will outsource it or something, but if you all are outsourcing it or something, but I saw that you have to do a Viva and like demonstration and everything by the end, so I guess you all will be expecting to do something. So in that sense, I will have to look at the capabilities of your team. By the team, what I'm saying is your group members, your supervisors, and if you're outsourcing it or something, like their capabilities and everything. You need to look at that and see whether whatever you all are proposing can actually be done. So yeah. Um, Yeah, and also I'm not sure whether this is an individual or group project. So make sure you allocate your tasks. Like if, like for example, in this we did this whole physical hardware setup was done by me and my friend Akila, and then all the software parts were handled by Nirman and Vinuka. So all were specialized in different areas, and they did their own parts. So machine learning, so Dinuka was specialized in like machine learning related stuff, so he did that part. Nirman liked to do signal processing related stuff, so he did that part. I like to make all the PCBs and everything and doing those, so I did that part. And Akila was involved in hardware things as well. So there needs to be like proper task allocation and how like diversified your like team is and what they like to do, the passion and everything. So considering all that, you have to come up with the objectives. Um, yeah. Even though I'm not sure whether you're like expected to come up with a timeline, I would really suggest you all to like make a timeline, because without a timeline, you will never have a good idea on how you all will be doing the project. Like how much time it will take for the project. For example, like I hear something again. I want to talk. Something I wanted to talk about was the ethical approval process, because imagine if I didn't make this timeline, I would probably just wait until we have finished making the device, and then tested it and everything on our members, and then start applying for the ethical clearance to get the ethical approval to conduct experiments. But that wouldn't have worked, because getting the ethical clearances take a lot of time, because we have to we have to get the documentation done first of all, and then we have to submit it to the ethical committee, and then they will take time to like give um, an answer on that, and they will probably ask to make some adjustments, and then it'll take another month to like make all those adjustments and submit to them again, and maybe they will be okay, or maybe they won't, like maybe we'll have to do more adjustments. So that's going to take time, and we need to definitely adjust all the we need to adjust the time for that. So we started working on the ethical stuff like in this timeline. The first part itself, we started working on the ethical process, right? And then doing all the documentations, revision and approval. Like you need to make a documentation and see how we have incorporated like exams and everything, so that we wouldn't be surprised in the middle when something like that comes up. So like what I'm saying is, if you are going to be doing a project, and like the the more you plan on it, the more you'll get a better understanding on how it's going to be done. And the better the understanding you have on the project, the higher the chance of success. So if you can like do a 100% computer simulation on how you are going to be doing the project, that's the best way to start a project. But obviously that cannot be done. But the more you get close to it, the more there's a chance of success. So like a plan as much as possible even before starting the project. So even in your timeline, um, 18 months are given to you. That's like 1.5 years, and 9 months out of it, that's a half of the time itself is just for the research proposal. So don't waste this time. Like look into this research project that you are going to be doing, and like plan it as much as possible. In that way, uh, obviously, how much you plan, there will be some surprises and unexpected things coming along the way, but it will be less if you plan it as much as possible. So, yeah, that's what I had to say on that. And I wanted to show you all that video. This is our final. This is our final demonstration on like we were able to like make the device and then test it on a patient in Ledridge Hospital. So I'll let you watch. So after introducing some flashing lights, the patient went into a seizure, and you all can see the seizure pattern here as well. So the green turns red when our machine learning model has identified that seizure is occurring. So this was able to say, so this proved that our system is working well. And then we also incorporated some like automatic artifact removal and stuff. You all might know about like artifacts that occur in EEG and ECG recording. So we incorporated some models to like automatically remove like eye blink artifacts and movement artifacts and muscle artifacts and such. So yeah. Yeah. So final word on getting your research project and your problem in order. It's like all the stars need to be aligned in order to find this is in order to realize that you're going to be doing this project, because you'll need to find a problem. In at the same time, there needs to be a research gap. By research gap, I meaning like on what's already existing and what you all are trying to achieve that gap. right? There needs to be a proper gap in there. And at the same time, whatever project that you are choosing, you all should be able to finish it in time. And also the objectives need to be achievable, like your team members need to be having the capabilities, and you all should like to do this. There should be a passion to do this as well. And then there are other stuff as well, like um, uh, uh, there are different aspects that the other aspects that you'll be have to like looking at as well, whether your this all this stuff needs to be like properly aligned, because if you chose a project that cannot be given in the time, then that whole maybe you'll don't have to like remove it, but like you will have to adjust the project, right? And then objectives as well. If there are some aspects that you can't achieve, maybe adjust the project or like move on to a different thing. And same thing with like capabilities and passion of the team. So like all of these need to be aligned when like deciding the start of the project. So in your timeline, uh, this first 3 months is like very important. In this first 3 months, you actually have to like simulate in your head what's going to be happening in the next 18 months as well, or the upcoming months as well. Because like if you just do what in these 3 months and just come up with a problem, and if you get into problems in the rest of the way, it'll be a bit hard to change by then. Obviously, like you can change until your research proposal submission, I guess, and then you might even be able to change some minor stuff even during um, the while doing the project as well. But like the changes you all will have to do will be less and less if you plan it properly in this first 3 months itself, to some level. Yeah, so that's all I had to say. If you all have any questions or anything, please ask them. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wickramasinghe. We will be sharing a feedback form in the chat. I kindly request all participants to take a moment to fill it out. Your input is greatly appreciated. Now let's move on to the Q&A session. Please feel free to submit any questions through the link provided in the chat or to simply type them into the Zoom chat. So I'd like to read out some of the questions that were submitted. So one of the questions was that someone wants to select a topic with the potential for long-term impact. And they were asking if the speakers could share some insight on the future trends we should take into consideration when making this choice.
Maybe I can take that question. Okay. I did have a slide for that. Quickly share that. Yeah, you can see this. So like there are a few future trends that are kind of like coming up in biomedical field. Obviously like artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and those are like very up and coming areas. 3D printed devices, like even like 3D printed hearts have also been achieved. Nowadays, I think I saw some kind of like famous, like a new surgery that happened in China, replacing I don't exactly remember, like maybe a 3D printed device was successfully replaced. And biosensors and trackers, very exciting field coming up. My master's research was kind of in this area too. And telehealth, convenient healthcare are also up and coming fields. Point of care diagnostics is very interesting, trying to bring diagnostic capabilities to the household or like to the exact patient setting instead of the hospital and healthcare setting. And then immunotherapy. Yeah. These are like some examples. It's from an article. I shared the link to that. But definitely there are much up and coming areas in medicine and biomedical innovation itself. So yeah, any follow-up questions for that? Can maybe show you an example of a biosensing company that kind of like, so here's a like US based company in Boston. So in a sense, what the question asked was like about long term. In a sense, this is kind of like the future of medicine per se, if you think about it. So I don't know, you have a particular goal of health, monitoring your sleep or your like physical performance. If you're like at old age, like what's your health span, longevity, like things like that. So this company is focusing on building a portable sensing kit that you can use at your home, and it's using kind of like the latest in chip design and uh, photonics technology, and basically yeah, like all this money that you spend, like give medical clinics for different kinds of like testing and everything, it's going to like get rid of all this cost. You just buy the specific sensing kit, and you have that at your home. You kind of like, you can probably like extract a small sample of your blood and get to know every single thing you want about your body, or like the blood chemistry of your body through this kit. They don't really have a picture of it. The thing that they're designing, it's still under development. But yeah, this is kind of an example I think I can provide of where like point of care diagnostics and biosensing is going. Do you have other questions, Kaushal?
Thank you, Mr. Wickramasinghe. Another question posed was, what is the best way to find out whether there are pre-existing solutions for the problems we identify, and any reliable sources or websites that you would suggest we use?
Nima, maybe we can take that one.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yes. So the question was, what the best way to find out whether there are any pre-existing solutions for the problems we identify, and any reliable sources or websites that you would suggest we use.
Right. So at this stage, like I think just doing even a basic Google search would like get you an idea. For example, in our case, um, like for we looked at like EEG headsets and whether there were like any new devices made on that subject, and we could see there were a lot of dry electrode based EEG headsets being developed, and we could look at them, and then there were some limitations in that those developed ones as well, and also like in terms of like machine learning and even in the device aspects as well. The next thing we do is we go for like Google Scholar. I use mainly Google Scholar, and then look at like put in different keywords into our research topic and see like what have been already done in our in regards to our project, like what has already been done. So that's how usually pre-existing like existing work is found, and yeah, usually those are the main two tools I just use: Google Scholar and Google itself. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Wickramasinghe. Another question posed was, what is the role of AI in medical technology research in current days, and how do you see it evolving?
Nima, can you take that as well?
Okay. In terms of AI, like obviously, I don't think I'm pro in how to say how it will be evolved in the years to come, but something that I think that I know is right now AI is not like approved for like making medical diagnostics and stuff. It's probably uh, like probably it's like getting slowly approved now, but in the years to come, I think AI will play a major role in this, but I have no clue, and I'm not an industry expert to answer on this. Kithmin, do you have any other views on that?
Um, yeah, based on like what's happening in the world, there is some like expectation that AI will have a big role in not like assisting medical personnel. For example, there's like a currently ongoing project at Moratua where students are developing an AI assisted tool that could like replace the traditional stethoscope. I know like most of you are um, used to the traditional stethoscope that like provides an analog um, sensation of heart sounds and things like that. But with AI tools coming in, like doctors don't have to won't have to rely only on um, doing things the traditional way. So like things like that can be replaced if you go to like countries like Japan. Actually, you would actually see the medical industries far like extremely ahead of time of the most other countries. In some cases, you don't even interact with the doctor. Like you can get all your needs completely like through like automated processes. It's very interesting. Like yeah, so like you probably see like those kinds of changes coming in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Wickramasinghe. So with that, I think we can wind up our Q&A session. So on behalf of the organizing committee, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speakers, Mr. Nima Wickramasinghe and Mr. Kithmin Wickremasinghe, for sharing their insights and expertise. Your valuable contributions inspire us all. We also thank all participants for joining us and actively engaging in this session. We hope you have gained actionable knowledge for your research journey. Thank you once again and have a nice day.